Hello, everyone. What's up?
Oh, I didn't know if I was like supposed to open it. You just like said go and then left
Oh
like a 3 or 4 second pause there.
no, I hit the button and then there's like a couple seconds until it's actually live.
Oh, I see.
Hello, everyone. This is I Can't Know Music, I'll Know Music, episode 13. This is the CultureMindPeople.com's podcast where I and my co-host Blake go over an album. We listen to the album for a week and then we talk about it. This week's album was Woodchoppers Ball by Jay Gordon and Blues Venom. So Um, anyway, we already heard you. How's it going, Blake?
Good. Uh, Enjoying life, trying to register for
So,
classes and all that stuff. So yeah,
oh, lame.
yeah, no.
Um, okay, just general overview. What is your experience in the past with blues music?
This past week I listened to an album called Woodchoppers Ball by Jay Gordon and the Venoms.
Okay. So I don't have a ton of experience with blues, but like I've listened to some Stevie Ray Vaughan, a little bit of Jimi Hendrix and stuff. I really like Stevie Ray Vaughan, at least what I know by him, and so I was excited to do this blues album. So after diving into the blues experience, how do you feel about it?
Um, I'm not sad. I don't have the blues. So I mean, I guess I've made it through unscathed.
So you're at least neutral. You don't hate
Yeah.
them.
No.
Okay. Um, I think that for me, the blues is just a time and place thing. Um,
hmm
of course, it feels like I should be sitting in like a crappy restaurant slash bar, and there should be some like people, like some old men that have been drinking since 9 a.m., just like chilling there, not saying anything, and then I should get like the greasiest but also best tasting burger, and that's where I would hear this music playing from a jukebox.
hmm
But I really like the way that blues music feels. I like the crazy solos, which are basically the entire song. Um, I'm a fan of this thing. It's just weird because it's not the type of music that you throw in a normal circumstances and put on the radio. It's not like you sing along a ton. Like it's more just like you either are listening to it for the instrumentality or you're looking for that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
And so it's got its place. Um, Man, there are some insane solos on this album.
I know. Oh,
Like
not to mention, he had a chainsaw guitar made for this album, for the song, Chainsaw Boogie. I saw a picture of it. They mounted a chainsaw like in the gut of a guitar, so that
it's
he
an
could play
actually
both.
working chainsaw. Yes,
Yeah, so he could play actually both the chainsaw and the guitar at the same time.
and like during his solos live, he will spin the guitar around so you can see that the blade is actually spinning while he's doing his thing.
Mhm.
So first we have to say that this is the most indie album we ever did. I just randomly heard it on a random station on Sirius XM about blues music, and I did not realize that it was going to be so hard to find anything about this album going into it.
I found one article.
Was it on his website?
Did I didn't know he had a website. I didn't see that.
Well, I think it's his website. The only thing I could find about it, period, was the Jay Gordon. It was the Blues Venom website, and
Oh, I didn't see
that
that at
was
all.
that was the only place I could find anything about it. Um, there's no lyrics for anything. Not that they matter a ton in this type of music, but
Yeah.
there's no lyrics anywhere. There wasn't he doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
No.
So
There is a Jay Gordon Wikipedia page, but it's like apparently some basketball player. So I
yeah,
read
or
like
there was
halfway
another
down,
Jay.
and then it's like,
Yeah, there was a Jay Gordon musician I thought too, but it
this
was
is
like
the same thing.
totally different dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Gordon that looks like he would double as a like chain smoking like truck driver or something. He's
Mhm.
got a do rag on the cover of the album. He's like leaning back and playing a solo.
He's got a pretty long ponytail.
Yeah, this is as like as kind of grungy blues as you can get, and the fact that it's like so indie and so authentic in that is kind of I appreciate that. It's not like someone posing as a blues player or something. This guy seems like he's in it. His website, so the Blues Venom website, I want you to go ahead and pull that up while we're talking here. It is the most 90s like stinking website I've seen in a while. It's just bluesvenom.com, and it is atrocious in a way that I appreciate, because it's obvious that this guy does not have a crew or anybody that knows how to help him. And like when you're looking at all these pictures and like the fonts and the colors, yeah, there we go. You see it?
Yeah, man.
This is the authentic like dude who bar hops while playing insane blues solos experience. I don't know how you find artists like this. Like, okay. I heard this on Sirius. Go ahead.
He has like a... What the heck is the cube at the bottom of the page?
I'm on a different page. I don't know which one.
On the main page.
The hit counter?
That's not a hit counter. It's just like a spinning cube with pictures on it. It's like a slideshow.
So I'm looking at a hit counter that says 7,600 hits.
Man.
So
he's getting up there.
I don't know if we're gonna find a more indie album than this for a while. It was like featured on a blues podcast on Sirius XM. Evidently, he's been nominated for a Grammy before, which a couple apparently. Somewhere. Yeah, so like he's mad talented, but I guess people just don't know what blues music is anymore, including myself. I didn't even know it existed.
I'm pretty sure the nominations that he received were for different albums that he did with other people, though. Like, he was just the guitarist.
Okay, that would make sense.
He was a 2012 Grammy nominee. He was the 2012, the 22nd annual Los Angeles Music Award. Hold on.
It's hard to find anything on this guy because that website's garbage.
Yeah, so it looks like he was nominated for a Grammy in 2012. Oh, and earlier and stuff. Anyways, yeah. This guy doesn't really exist on the internet.
But he has mad talent, and I kind of wish that there were other ways. Like, I wish more people knew about it. I didn't even know blues music was still made anymore until last week. So I'm kind of glad that we kind of pulled this out of the almost internet black hole. Like, there was almost nothing on this guy. I'm glad that I found it. But yeah, I guess that's enough preamble for now. We mentioned before the podcast, it's going to be a little bit hard to talk about, and this is similar to last week's, I guess. It's going to be a little bit hard to talk about a ton about each song because, generally speaking, there's not a lot of lyrics. And it's mostly just guitar solos, but we'll go ahead and try, I guess. The first song on the album is called The Stinger, and it is like an introduction to Jay Gordon saying he has a lot of things to say and then playing a bunch of guitar solos. I like it, and I like the way that it kind of sets the tone for the album. You know exactly what you're getting into. Mm-hmm. Listening to this album, I realized that blues is the type of music that can reference itself so often. Like, almost all of these songs say the word blues. There's 3 of the songs, the titles include the word blues. Another thing worth noting is, like, let's say that this song were being played live while the Jay Gordon is going insane. The blues Venom part of his band, which is like the bassist and the drummer, namely, must be incredibly bored because that bass line just goes and that drum just goes and he's just soloing for it. The last 2 songs are both nearly 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just the thing.
Most of them are like instrumental, like kind of stuff, solo-y bits. Oh, dear goodness. And
nearly every one of these songs, like, so there are lyrics on some of them, not all of them, but there are lyrics, but it follows the basic like A, slight change to A again, C, like I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like like if you think of Stevie Ray Vaughan's Texas Flood, he says like it's flooding down in Texas, all the telephone lines are down. The second time he says, "Oh, it's flooding down in Texas, all the telephone lines are down." And then the third, I don't even remember the lyrics to the stupid song, but like you say the same thing like 2 or 3 times in a row, and then you change it up for the last time as the bass line is switching chords back to the root chord, and it's just a very basic lyric writing pattern and method that's basically on every single song.
It's something that you like say if you are emptying the dishwasher. If you made up a song while emptying the dishwasher about emptying the dishwasher, it seems kind of like what that song would be.
Oh yeah, the thing I was trying to think is it's flooding down in Texas, all the telephone lines are down. He says it again, and then he says, "I've been trying to call my baby and I can't get a single sound." So you say the same thing once or 2 times or 3 times, then you follow it up with a different one. And like between each one, you are playing some kind of insane riff because that's how blues music works.
Mm-hmm.
The second song is called Hobo Hilton. Do you have anything to say about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is one of the more lyrically rich songs on the album. It tells the story of some guy living in the Hobo Hilton, right under Capitol Records. So this is the song that I found the article was about this song, and then the rest of the album. But this one specifically, he talked about like. Apparently, this is a common theme among blues artists that they just want like fame and recognition, but they can't get it because they're blues artists.
That seems to fit very well with what we know of his career so far. He's insanely talented. Nobody knows who he is. He said he lives under the Capitol Records sign. I actually like this song a lot. It has some of my favorite of the solos.
Mm-hmm.
The next song, you mentioned Chainsaw Boogie. This starts off with him using his chainsaw guitar. It starts off with some chainsaw engine sounds. I pulled a clip from his Blues Venom website where it says, "The chainsaw guitar was built for Jay Gordon by Gary Owen and Chuck Block, then revamped by Sharon Butcher and Jay Gordon. Sharon came up with the idea to encase the saw blade in clear plexiglass, so at times he flips the guitar over to show the chainsaw blade is turning while he's playing. He uses the guitar strictly for slide guitar. It sounds like a couple of Harleys going through a stack of Marshall amplifiers. The guitar is definitely a crowd pleaser and showstopper. The bikers love it, the blues cats love it, and the rockers think it's out of this world," which is also the type of writing that is on his website. Also, so it's a regular chainsaw. One of my favorite things on the website is after the like snippet where it talks about the chainsaw guitar, it has in parentheses chainsaw guitar is patent pending. Not patent pending. It says patent pending, and it's spelled incorrectly. But there's also a patent number there, but that was pretty good, and it kind of like gives you like, oh, that's what we're reading. That's what we're looking at. The bikers love it, the blues cats love it, and the rockers think it's out of this world. Oddly enough, I don't actually care for this song as much as the others, but I do think it would be cool to see that guitar live.
Yeah. I tried looking up videos and they don't exist, so.
There's almost no videos of him playing live anything. Like, I found him playing some other songs live, but nothing I recognize from this album.
Mm-hmm.
The next song is called Stranger Blues, and I don't remember what the lyrics are about. It's a song about being a stranger in a town playing the blues when no one knows you. Maybe that's just a documentary of his life.
The lyrics.
Okay. I also don't remember like particularly loving this song. Like, for one, all of these songs are showing more talent than your average pop artist ever would, period. Mm-hmm. But when compared to some of the other songs that come later, I think it's not as good as some of the awesome ones that are later. You got anything for the song Voodoo Woman?
This one wasn't my favorite. Do you know who's singing?
Okay, so because it's hard to find anything on this album, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing it's the bassist who he
Okay.
met at one of his shows. She was like, he was playing a solo at one of his shows, and she was like chanting like, "Hey, turn the guitar up! Hey, turn the guitar up!" And so he talked to her after the show, and she was really into blues music. He also has another band called Jay Gordon and the Penetrators or something, and like she was watching him play that, and then she eventually became the bassist for this band. I don't remember her name, and it's really hard to find that kind of stuff. But maybe making that up.
Yeah.
But I think she's singing it. Go ahead.
The first couple times I thought it was him, and it didn't make any sense to me. And then I realized it's not him. So.
Yeah, it's like about a person who's talking about how she's a voodoo woman because she has like all these animals, and when she raises her hand, the sky begins to cry.
Yeah.
It does the same like blues pattern. There's some good solos here.
This one kind of has a hook type thing where she talks about like having the rabbit foot and the frog on her shoe or whatever.
Rabbit foot's in my pocket, crawdad in my shoe, frog on her shoulder or something. I don't remember. There's a long line of animals that she has. The next song is called Traveling Riverside Blues. And I feel like this is probably a good time to mention this. Blues music is very country, but I don't hate blues music the way that I hate country music. And I think it's just because the musicality of it is just so much better. And like, I appreciate blues so much more.
I would say it's closer to like kind of like bluegrass, where it's definitely more instrumental. Like country is the pop equivalent of the southern music genres.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know, but even when they sing, they have more of like a raspy, cryy like voice than more of like a twang or something. But it's like this song, especially why I brought it up. It's called "Traveling Riverside Blues." It's a banjo. Like the whole song is banjo, pretty much. Which evidently this is also a cover of a Led Zeppelin song, kind of. It didn't. Okay, I listened to both of them. It didn't sound that much like the Led Zeppelin song, of course, because he's freestyling his solos and stuff, but also because not all the lyrics are the same, but at least one of the verses was the same.
Okay.
That was called Traveling Riverside Blues, and it definitely doesn't sound as southern as like this sounds so much more southern because he's using a banjo to play the song. But this sounds like, so I went to a restaurant called Jazz, which is kind of like it's like a Cajun food restaurant, like really southern themed. And I went to one that was in Kansas City, and they had a blues band playing while they were there, and it just sounds so like southern swampy. I feel like this song is like that sound to a T.
I really like this song. I think this one is probably my favorite on the album.
It was one of my favorites. I have a couple that I mentioned that I liked a lot, and this is one of them. The next song is called Pain, which once again is a slower song. It's another like it's hard to talk about blues music because it's all about the music itself. They don't say much. It's basically about the pain that they're feeling. That's why they have the blues. And like this, I guess, is a good example of using the guitar to kind of speak in a manner of like in some sense. Like if you watch a blues player play, a lot of times they're making faces on they're making funny faces that look painful while they're playing this music, and it's hard to describe. But when I say the word pain and then I play some of the clips, like I'll play if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, I think you'll understand what I mean when I'm saying the guitar is telling the story. In fact, he says at the beginning of the song, "Let me tell you a little story with this slide guitar," and that's most of the stuff. He doesn't talk much. The next song is called "Message to Collins." I don't think there's any words in this song.
Yeah, this one was just an instrumental.
So I don't know because we can't find anything, I don't know if it means anything. It's called Message to Collins. I wrote opens with a shred to whammy before the bass and drums kick in for a screaming solo, really working the feedback. I really liked this song. This is one of the ones I really liked also. You have anything to say about Drippin' Blues?
All right, this one is kind of talking about Jay's deep connection with the blues to where, oh, that's the wrong one. Where it's like just dripping all over the place. It's just overflowing. It's everywhere. It's the blues.
Yeah, he says sitting in this juke joint, which I'm assuming means place with a jukebox. I can see the blues dripping down from the walls. Like, I imagine that the setting for this song is like a dimly lit bar. You got people drinking their problems away, and you got this artist over in the corner just playing some sick ripping like solos on their guitar as everyone is trying to forget the real world. And I don't know. I dig the imagery of the walls dripping blues. The next song is called Pure Grain Alcohol, which I had to look up what pure grain alcohol is. It is exactly what it says. It's basically like 190 proof, like alcoholic, like Everclear,
like moonshine,
which is 95% alcohol. Like, you're basically just drinking straight alcohol. The song is just kind of like talking about you made a bunch of bad decisions because you've been drinking. You felt like you're drinking pure grain alcohol. Like, you wake up and you made a bunch of mistakes or something. Mm-hmm. Once again, it's another. This one actually has piano, which is different than some of the others. Like, generally speaking, you've got your bass doing its like boom, 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 and then you've got your like guitar or your drums just doing like the most basic drum beat you could possibly have, and then there's always the guitar, and there's sometimes one other instrument. The instrument in this song is the piano. I think it's the only song with a piano. Some of them have organ.
There was a saxophone on the album somewhere, right? Wasn't there?
There's maybe I thought it was a harmonica, or maybe it's a different. Okay. Maybe there's both. I don't remember.
I think I saw somewhere where they were crediting a sax player.
Okay. The next song is Blues Venom. Is this the one you were going to talk about?
Yeah, that was the one I have my notes on.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, this one is talking about Jay's deep connection with the blues, where it's like practically just in his vein, in his blood, like venom.
This one has organ. The line, I think if I wrote it down correctly, which is hard to find because there's no lyrics, was I was born into the blues. Yeah, I just can't get enough. My heart grew tough. Blues venoms in my bloodstream. And then once again, this is a 10-minute song. The majority of it is
solos,
guitaring. Yeah, guitar solos. So like I mean, I don't know if you've heard, like, if you are someone that is not super familiar with blues music, you're going to hear it in some of these clips. But basically, it goes like, you know, he says, I was born into the blues, yeah. And then, like, he'll play a little riff, and he'll say, I was born into the blues, yeah. And then he'll play another riff, and then he'll say, like, I was born into the blues, yeah. I just can't get enough. And then there'll be a really long section for him to solo some more. And that's kind of how it works. And then he'll solo in between verses, and then he'll solo after. Like, but it's the feel, and it's the, like, idea of just being sad, and, like, the blues scales, which are different. They have a certain sound to them that you'll pick up, which he deviates from a little bit, but not a ton. This is, like I said, a 10-minute song where he gets to play around a lot. I do like this one, but I think that if I had to pick a favorite, it might be the next one, because some of the stuff, he just goes crazy on some of that stuff. And the next song is called Original Sin. It's hard, you know, obviously the lyrics don't matter a ton, but like the original sin in this song is seeing a grown man cry. That's what he's talking about when he's talking about, you know, it being a downright dirty sin. but of course it is just flooded with insane solo like the whole song, and like it just feels so good. I don't know how to like. I have a hard enough time articulating, like, this podcast is already a challenge because I'm trying to articulate the way that I feel about music when I think that music is so good at like subverting words normally, especially with genres I don't know as much. I have a harder time vocalizing this, but I really want these clips. Like, maybe I'll play longer clips than normal. I don't think this guy is going to care if I let him be heard somewhere else. Like, I just really want to get across the way that this feels and how good it feels. Like, I don't know. That's the last song on the album. I would definitely recommend that you check this out if you're interested in hearing blues. You'll hear clips here. Would you recommend it?
I think I would. Yeah. I didn't listen to it all that much this week. I probably picked it up for the first time, I think, on like Thursday or something. So
okay.
I think I would have enjoyed listening to it more.
I listened to this one quite a bit just because it was easy to throw on. It sounds very similar to something like Stevie Ray Vaughan. When I was listening to it at work, 3 different people mistook it for Stevie Ray Vaughan, including a huge Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. Because I mean, most of the time he's not singing; he doesn't sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan necessarily. But like, most of the time, it's just awesome blues soloing, and that's what a lot of people associate with this style of rock blues. But it was really good, and I do recommend it. And I think that A, this is the most indie album we've ever picked, but B, like, this is probably the most talent we've heard in an album as far as just like pure like music ability goes. When I'm looking at the list now, I mean, I guess you have your like Pink Floyds and stuff, and they're going for a different atmosphere, so it's really, really hard to direct compare. But like just wailing on the guitar, this is insane. It's really cool. Any other summary thoughts?
I think that's about it.
Okay, so we talked about it, and it is now time next week. So you should be listening to it if you want to listen to next week's podcast. We are going to go back to our original inspiration for this podcast and be listening to the 1970 David Bowie album, "The Man Who Sold the World." I thought we were going back to it too early, but we've hit a lot of other albums since we listened to Space Oddity or whatever it was called, because it had all the names. But David Bowie albums are fun. I'm looking at the list of all the albums that we've done, and this podcast is it's cool. Like, it forces me to listen to something a lot deeper than maybe I necessarily would have given it a shot. And like, also, like, I don't know, it's cool to be able to talk about music with somebody who listens to music and not just like hears music on the radio. So that's cool. What else have you been listening to this week?
This week I picked up a band called Metric.
Okay.
How'd
you find these guys?
They were on my Discovery Weekly playlists that Spotify gave me. I've heard their song "Comeback Baby," which I really enjoyed, so I just decided to pick up the rest of the album and listen to that.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, they're
what do they sound like?
They're like alt rock, kind of punky sounding.
Okay, cool.
Stuff that I would, you would generally find me listening to something like this.
Okay. So I've been listening to this. I was listening to the Jay Gordon album quite a bit, but then also, I picked up Rock Band 4 yesterday,
Nice.
Which I was able to get with some birthday money that I got, and there is way more DLC. Like, do you remember when you came out to my house last time and we were looking at the DLC, and like there wasn't necessarily a ton of stuff that like we knew and cared about? There's like over 2,000 songs of DLC for some reason now that I can find.
I think about
Um,
a couple of weeks ago, I was just checking out the playlist of all the available tracks on it. That thing is huge.
yeah. So I yesterday I downloaded like maybe $25 ish of DLC. Um, but there's like over 100. Like I went through every song and kind of like rated how much I cared about it, and like there's like over $130 of DLC that like I want to get eventually. Obviously, I can't get it one time. Um, but yeah, like it's cool because now I have almost an entire Rock Band set list of songs that I know and like. Like I now have over 2 hours of songs that I know and like available in that game. So like on your average, like sit down and play through this, you're not ever gonna have to repeat anything.
Mhm.
Plus, I have the ability to get new songs. Like "Meant to Live" by Switchfoot was on there. Like some songs that I like legitimately love. Um, My Chemical Romance, "The Black Parade" is on there. That
That's
song is
awesome.
hard, man. It's super hard. I'm not very good at it, but so I played that like I don't know a significant amount of hours yesterday. I spent like messing with Rock Band 4. The sweet thing was I was able to get the Xbox One version,
Hmm.
and it comes with a dongle that lets you use your Xbox 360 instruments. That was the main
Nice.
reason that
So
I
you
was
didn't
able
have
to
to
get
buy all
that.
the a whole new
No. Yeah,
band
so
essentially.
I spent $80 on the game and a dongle instead of $250 on a full set, which is much preferred by me.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so yeah, I haven't messed with the vocals or the drums, but I was definitely playing guitar, and Amanda was playing some bass. Um, but yeah, Rock Band 4, that's super cool. Whenever we get together in real life, we play a significant amount of Rock Band.
Yeah.
So that was cool. The sad thing was there wasn't a way for me to like. There used to be ways to export from the discs that you have to the most recent game, but because like I didn't get them until they were already super old, like all that stuff is expired. So it's kind of lame, but I don't know. I still have like tons of songs. Like I made a list of all the Rock Band 4 songs I have available to me that I would want to play on Rock Band 4, and it's 31 songs right now, and then I have like tons more songs that I'd like to get as DLC eventually. So that's cool. Um, what else? Did I listen to anything else? Did we?
Uh,
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, did we talk about that Weezer single? But we totally did last
yeah, we
week. There
did.
was a long rant about that.
Um, this isn't someone I've been listening to this week, but a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine who is a drummer, his name is Ethan, um, mentioned this TED talk by a drummer named Jojo Meyer, um, who he talks about in the TED talk about the imperfection of human playing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, why drum machines don't actually sound real is because they don't make any mistakes. So
Mm-hmm.
he was doing like research on it, and he decided that uh, he was going to drum like a drum machine.
Mm-hmm.
This man is incredibly insane. Like, you'll just have to like listen to something. I'll try to find a song by him, but like he sounds like a drum machine, and it's so. You have to check it out. I'll
Okay.
get you a
Weird.
video or
That's
something.
cool. Um, Next time we play Rock Band, one of the songs that I now have available to me that we need to, I don't know, play 20 times in a row is the song "What's Up" by Four Non Blondes is
Oh,
now in the game.
nice.
I feel like they only added that song as a troll, so somebody would choose it over and over and annoy all the friends upstairs who were trying to like have a conversation. Um, yeah, but I mean, I think that about wraps it up. I'm excited to listen to next week's album.
Yeah, me too.
Um, I haven't listened to my Discover Weekly playlist at all this week. I need to. I still recommend that feature highly.
Mhm.
I just been, whatever, busy. Um, but yeah, do you have any other things you want to hit?
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Okay. Cool. So for I Can't Know Music, I'll Know Music, episode 13. I should really say this real quick. If you want to email us like comments, questions, anything, do that at podcast@thecultureofmypeople.com. We actually had a suggestion for an old album to listen to that we may end up using next time the old album comes around. We'll see if anything else crazy pops up. But we'll take album suggestions. We'll keep comments. If you like had a completely different opinion on an album than we did or anything, go ahead and suggest that. That's super welcome.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to like advertise where you can find us outside the show. Do you have anywhere, or do you just recommend this show?
I recommend this show.
Okay.
I don't really do anything else outside of this show. So if I ever do something, I will I'll let you guys know first.
Cool. I have a Twitter, twitter.com/MichaelNip, MichaelKnipp, and Facebook.com/TheRealMichaelNip. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up, unless I forget something else. But it doesn't matter, because I'm closing the show off. So, for I Can't Know Music, I'll Know Music, episode 13, this has been me, Michael Knipp, and my co-host,
Blake Wilson.